Before we go too much further, let's just take a step back for a second and talk a little bit more about the course and the course expectations. So let's talk about SCMT 3200, Career Development for Supply Chain Professionals. The course outline states there is one main objective for this course. It says that the purpose of this course is to help students prepare for and execute a job search in the field of supply chain and operations management. The key words here are we want you to prepare for and to execute a job search. When we're talking about the preparation for a job search, we're talking about developing a cover letter, a resume, a list of references, and a portfolio as supporting documents for your job search. We also are going to have you participating in mock interviews this semester to help you prepare for your skills and abilities questions that you're going to get as you go out into the work world to obtain a job. One of the first assignments you're going to do is to prepare a personal career and professional development plan as a future roadmap for your own success. Studies show that people who sit down and actually write out their goals are 80% more successful in achieving those goals. So we're going to have you take some of those first steps early on this semester to help you figure out what is your roadmap. How are you going to get to the successful job that you want to obtain once you graduate? The execute part comes in a few forms. One thing that employers continue to tell us is that students struggle with oral presentations. And I have to tell you that the only way to get better at oral presentation skills is to actually do them. So we're going to be working through your oral presentation skills this semester because those are going to be very valuable to you as you progress in your career. We're also going to take a deep dive into a variety of different areas so that you have a better understanding of the breadth and depth of the supply chain and operations field. You're going to look at different industries where supply chains takes place, but you're also going to have an opportunity this semester to talk to some real people. We're going to have a lot of guest speakers that are going to share their experience, and you're going to have the opportunity to ask them questions about how they got to where they are today. Some of those people, I'll give you a hint, are previous students here at Durham College in the supply chain program. So the prepare and execute comes in a few things that you're going to be doing. You're going to be putting together a resume, a cover letter, and references. You're going to be submitting those twice, and we'll talk more about that in a few weeks. You're going to hear all the interview questions that you're going to be preparing for so that you get asked and answered in the mock interview. And you're going to be preparing a professional portfolio. This portfolio will be used further on as you continue your education here at Durham College, but you're going to finish this course with a portfolio that you're proud to have to take to an interview. You're going to learn a lot more about supply chain associations and career opportunities. Through our guest speaker opportunities, you're going to have the opportunity to ask people questions about their careers. And you're going to explore your own career journey, starting with your personal brand, taking a deep dive into your own skills, abilities, and interests, and putting together a career roadmap for yourself. These public speaking opportunities and some practice are going to help you invaluably with your career journey. If we take a look at the employable skills profile, this is something that was put together with the top 100 companies across Canada. The top 100 companies across Canada were asked for when they're hiring people, what are the top skills that those people have to have coming out of college or university? And they divided these skills into 3 different areas. The top companies told us that in the fundamental skills, the number one thing that they expect people to have is the ability to communicate, both written and verbal. It's important to note that this employable skills profile, these are skills that companies expect you to have, and they're not willing to train you on them. So they want you to have these skills and demonstrate them through the job interview process and bring those into your job. They also talked about the ability to manage information, to use numbers, and to think and problem solve as fundamental skills. The category of personal management skills, is interesting because the number one thing that companies are looking for is the ability to demonstrate positive attitudes and behaviors. Think about that for a second. You're going to be at work every day with people, and what employers are telling us over and over again is they want to hire people who are positive. Nobody wants to hire a negative person. But they also talked about someone who is responsible and adaptable as being key. Someone who's willing to learn continuously and, of course, work safely. The third bucket of employable skills profile was the teamwork skills area. And the number one thing that companies were looking for is the ability to work with others. That links directly to the second point, is someone who is able to participate in projects and tasks with other people. So this is just good information to keep in mind. We'll be talking more about this as we talk about the interview and the key skills that people are looking for. So what do you need to know at this point in the course, here in week 1? We're in early days, and I find that students need to know 3 things. They typically ask me about the sequence of instructions, so what are we doing today, next week, next month? How am I being evaluated, so how am I earning marks in this course? And are there any course or classroom policies that I need to be aware of? So the rules that you need to know. So let's talk about these 3 things. The first is the sequence of instruction. You'll note on your timetable that each week we have 4 hours of classes, a 2 and a 2 split it's called. Because we're in a virtual environment, the first class each week is what we call asynchronous. That means that you do it on your own time. You review the material on your own and go through it at your own pace. However, the second class each week on your timetable is a synchronous class, where we're going to meet virtually face-to-face online. The details of this are in DC Connect and also in your timetable. So let's walk through the evaluation criteria. How are you going to earn marks in this course? The career roadmap, the very first assignment that you're going to be completing, is going to be a roadmap for yourself, where you're going to identify your skills, abilities, and interests, and talk a little bit about where you want to go in the future. So this will require a little bit of research. There's a resume assignment that you're going to be completing. And for the resume assignment, you actually submit this twice. Each time it's worth 10%. The mock interviews are worth 20% of your final grade, and that's actually broken down into 3 different components. There's a 5% written component. The first mock interview is worth 5%, and the second mock interview is worth 10%. And those mock interviews are both oral assignments. There are a variety of different presentations that you're going to be doing this semester, 4 different opportunities at 3% each. As I mentioned earlier, there will be some guest speakers attending. For each opportunity where you ask a question and then record the answer and write a reflection, you'll submit an opportunity to submit 2 of those at 4% each for 8% total. The portfolio assignment, which is a large assignment you'll be completing this semester, is worth 20% of your final grade. And then finally, last but not least, some in-process marks. In-process is going to take a variety of different forms and formats. For instance, this week, you're going to have the opportunity to complete your first in-process assignment, which is a discussion forum posting. And that one is worth just 1%. There are a few course policies, actually many course policies, located in your course outline that speak to things like attendance, punctuality, evaluations, academic honesty, and grade appeals, just to name a few. I would encourage you to review the course policies located in the course outline, and the course outline is posted here in DC Connect for easy access. There are 2 critical policies, however, that I want to make sure we review together before we go any further. The first one is regarding late assignments, and the second one is expectations for this virtual classroom that we're in together. When we're talking about late assignments, you may be familiar with this already from your first year at Durham College, but late is immediately following the due date and time that an assignment is due with no exceptions, and that penalty is 20% per day. After 5 days, a mark of 0 is assigned for that assignment. And there are no makeup assignments at the end of the semester should you be unsuccessful with the course or with an assignment going through the semester. There is one important deviation that you're going to see a lot this semester through your program, and that is late assignments where the weight is 5% or less of your grade. Now, we've just gone through your grades, and there are quite a few assignments that this may impact you. For those assignments that are worth 5% or less, they will not be accepted late. What that means is if they are missed or not submitted on time, they will receive a grade of 0. Remember, that includes things like the presentation forum, the presentations you're going to be doing, some discussion forums, the mock interviews, etc. for this course. So these can add up quickly, and I would encourage you not to dismiss assignments because they're small, because they cannot be accepted late, and if they are missed, a grade of 0 is automatically assigned. I have a few expectations for the classroom in this virtual environment. I love this quote from Billy Cox, who said, "The two things in life you are in total control over are your attitude and your effort." Remember, employers are looking for people with a positive attitude, and certainly we can control the amount of effort we exert on a daily basis. You probably know who this is, or I prefer this one even better. Albert Einstein is famous for the theory of relativity, and I say time may be relative, but being on time is critical to your success. On time, every time. We're meeting virtually, so you need to be in front of a computer, ready to attend and participate during our one class per week, the one that's synchronous. The second policy that you probably may know about, and you probably can figure out who this is with the telephone, I ask that we have one conversation at a time. I want you to be attentively listening and respectful of others' opinions and ideas. So try to put your cell phone away while we're meeting virtually. It's easy to become distracted when we're sitting in front of a computer meeting, but you're going to learn as much from each other as you do from me. So we want to have one conversation at a time and make sure that we are respectful of others' ideas and opinions as we walk through the course together. Last but not least, I live by the concept of being what I call all in. If you're a poker player, you're probably familiar with this concept. Being all in means you believe that you have a great hand, so you push all of your chips in poker into the middle of the table. You put everything on the table, you leave nothing behind. That's a concept and a theory that I've lived with my entire life. I don't just put a toe into something, I dive right in, and I'm going to ask you to be all in with me this semester. What does that mean? It means, in a nutshell, that you're engaged. That you're engaged with the course, in the life around you, and with your community. Be all in all the time, and you'll be amazed at how the doors will open up for you. I'm also going to ask you to be respectful and professional. Again, attentive listening to each other, be punctual, be ready to participate when we're meeting. Maintain a positive attitude. It is contagious, and as I mentioned earlier, employers are demanding it. Face your fears. One of the number one fears people have is of public speaking, and it's even stranger in this virtual environment. We're going to have to get used to seeing ourselves on camera a lot. That might be a fear that you have. I'm going to ask you to face those fears. Of course, this is your second year of college. You've already practiced this through your first year and you've been successful, but I'm going to ask you to be responsible for your own actions at all times. And last but not least, raise your questions, cares, and concerns. I am here to help you succeed, but I need to know that you're facing some challenges or concerns or some lack of understanding of something in the course. So feel free to reach out to me, and I will make sure that we can manage through any questions that you have and address any cares and concerns. Final quote. My best friend, Taylor Swift. I'm joking, she's not my best friend, but she does offer a lot of insight through some of her music. And as you're already seeing in this course, I'm a big fan of music. One of her quotes that I love is, "This is a new year, a new beginning, and things will change. Keep going, you're not done the lesson yet."